Now, you know I can't stand the Queensland government. Its Premier, Stephen Miles in particular. Why? Because they've driven the joint into the ground. Now, I love Queensland, and if I could have the blood transfusions to become a Queenslander, I would. But take your pick. From youth crime to a whole bunch of other issues, this bloke is cooked. And this bloke is cooked at the upcoming election. And one of the biggest reasons why is because of what the Labor Party has done to the hospitals and the ambulance services in Queensland. Labor have been in power, with the exception of 3 years, for the best part of 30 years in Queensland. Queensland has an opportunity in a few months to get a new broom and actually fix their problems. And they're going to have to do something because, despite the fact that they changed the minister and they changed the spin and they've got the social media videos and they've got the new Premier, ambulance ramping, the amount of time that an ambulance spends with a person in the back not being able to drop them off at a hospital, is now at record levels. Never been worse. In the March quarter, 45.5% of Queensland patients spent more than 30 minutes on a ramp waiting to go into hospital. So how's about that? 45% of people who go into an ambulance stay in an ambulance because there's no room at the hospital for at least 30 minutes. This is unbelievable. They have had billions of dollars and decades to do something, and the union's on their side, but it's never been worse. And while you may think, I haven't had to call 000, it's not my problem, it's just for Fred and Mary down the street, well, one day it is you. One day it is your partner, your kid, your parents. And you deserve a hospital system where the ambulance can drop you off, you're taken care of in the hospital, and more importantly, the ambulance can go and pick up somebody else. How many times did we tell you at the end of last year about the number of people who died because of the hospitals and the ambulance ramping in Queensland? Well, since then, it's got worse. Well done to the Courier Mail, who've had particular focus on the data, because Queensland Health and the Labor Party do their best to try to hide it. Well done to Chris Jones and the team here, who, again, under the banner of Queensland Health, shows 45% of patients waiting outside in their editorial today. This set of figures, while understandably damaging for the government, at least gives Queenslanders a complete picture of the efficiency of our health system, or should I say lack thereof. It might even be used to inform decisions when requiring hospital care. Regular releases of the same data sets government to be able to, rather than hide from the truth, actually give the public information that matters. Yes, occasionally it'll be damaging for a governor or a minister, but bugger it, so be it. Instead, what they do is, they used to do these things monthly, and then they move them quarterly, and then they go back to monthly, and then they hide it on a website, and then they do a press release, and then they only put it in the annual report. Everything they can to try to hide this information from Queenslanders. But anyone in Queensland knows, you call 000, it may or may not turn up. In regional Queensland, as we've told you the stories, people have called 000, the paramedic turns up, and if you need to go into the back of the ambulance and the paramedic needs to take care of you because there's no other paramedic in the passenger seat, a family member might have to drive the freaking ambulance. Get rid of this mob. Get rid of them so cleanly. Because they don't deserve a day longer in power, and Queensland deserves way better than the rubbish being served up by Miles and the rest of his merry men and women who are fools, who are great at politics but terrible at public administration.